What's up, guys? Happy Monday and welcome to the final week of this program. Today's workout, as usual, will be a push workout. And today we're going to utilize the principle of drop sets. So drop sets you can do with any sort of workout. I find it works really good with the upper body, especially pushing workouts. So essentially what drop sets are is going from a heavier weight to a lighter weight. Now, since most of us don't have an entire rack of weights with us, we're going to do a drop set from using 2 weights to using 1 dumbbell. And then we'll take a break. So it's like a superset, except instead of doing 2 different exercises, you're doing the exact same exercise back to back. First with a heavier exercise or a heavier weight, and then with a lighter weight. So there's 2 parts of the workout. The first part is going to be the drop set section. The second part will just be some miscellaneous push exercises. So for the drop sets, the first one here, and the time is 25 seconds on, 25 seconds on, 30 seconds off. We're going to go through 3 rounds before moving on to the next one. So the first one, we're going to do some sort of overhead press variation. So you can grab both your weights, neutral grip, and press. If the weights that you're using are too heavy, you can't do that. You can do a push press. You might get to the point, especially in the second and third round, where you have to drop down to a push press instead, and that's okay. As soon as that buzzer goes off, drop one of the weights, grab a single dumbbell, do the exact same thing. If you're doing a push press, just dip and press. 30-second break after that, we'll go through that 3 times. Second, same idea here with your chest press. So it's going to be a little bit easier. So you're on your back, first 25 seconds, regular chest press, and you're going to drop 1 weight and do a chest press with that single dumbbell. With the 1 dumbbell, make sure you keep those elbows tucked in, don't flare them out. So you're going to have to go a little bit more narrow, a little bit more tricep emphasis than the first part. Exercise 3 will be push-ups. So there's a few ways you can do this. For those of you who can do push-ups on your toes, you're going to start the first 25 seconds push-ups on your toes, buzzer goes off, drop down to your knees. For those of you who do your push-ups on your knees, the first set you'll do regular push-ups on your knees. The second set, you'll do a plank push-up. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to just go through the push-ups on your knees for the entire time as well. So it's your call there. Number 4, we're going to do a curl to press. So you're going to use 2 of your weights here. You're going to do a bicep curl and press. It's like a clean press variation, just a little bit slower, more controlled. So curl and press. Buzzer goes off, drop that 1 weight, curl, press. Nice and slow, keep it controlled. Last one here, we're going to do skull crushers. So the first exercise, with 2 weights, you're just going to flex and extend. So flex and extend. The second one, you're just going to drop one of those weights. Same idea. Now for this exercise, if you have other dumbbells, you probably want to go a little bit lighter because we're working a much smaller muscle group here in the triceps. So that's the first part. 3 rounds of each. Overhead press or push press, chest press, push-ups, curl to press, and skull crushers. Once we're done all that, I'll explain the second part. 25 seconds on, 25 seconds on, 30-second break, 3 rounds. So we'll get started in about 30 seconds with the overhead press. Okay, so with the overhead press, strict is always more challenging. Strict means no bend in the knees, no helping out from the legs, minimizing that arch, and just really using your shoulders to do all the work. If you want to make it easier, bend from the knees. So the first set with 2 weights, buzzer goes off, drop down to 1. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Overhead press. So I like to do the overhead press with the neutral grip, but if you prefer to hold the weights like this, palms forward, that's totally fine as well. Breathing out as you press up, breathe in on the way down. Keep it controlled. We got 10 seconds to go. Once that buzzer goes off, you're immediately going to go into the same exercise with 1 dumbbell. 3, 2, 1. So drop 1 weight. Same thing. Let's go. Elbows stay tucked. You'll do this for 25 seconds. Then you'll take a 30-second break, and we're going to do 2 more rounds of this. Okay, we've got about 10 seconds to go. Monitor your breathing here. Try not to bend the knees unless you absolutely have to. 3, 2, 1, and rest. So we're gonna take a 30-second break here. We're gonna do the same thing 2 more times. So before we get on to the next exercises, we'll do the same thing with the overhead press, 2 more rounds, just to really give it a good burn, and then we'll move on to the chest press. As usual, the overhead press is always gonna be one of the harder press movements, which is why we like to do it first. Okay, 10 seconds and then we'll get started. Let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. And if you're wondering what the range of motion should be here, general rule of thumb is you want the dumbbells to touch your shoulders on the way down and then fully lock out on the way up. You got about 10 seconds to go, then you're going to drop that one weight and do the same thing with the single dumbbell. 3, 2, 1, drop one weight, single dumbbell, exact same thing. Breathing out as you press, breathing on the way down. You're going to start to feel those shoulders light up a little bit now. 10 seconds. Almost there, guys. 3, 2, 1. Good, so let's take 30 seconds. We're gonna do the same thing one more time, and then we'll get into chest press after this. So one more round of the overhead press before rotating. And that's why we do 3 rounds. You can tell the first round is not hard, pretty easy. Second round gets a little bit tougher. Third round acts as a finisher. Once you're exhausted, then we'll move on to another exercise to start fresh. So let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So as far as technique is concerned, it's a relatively simple movement. The one thing you want to watch out for is that overarching in the back as you press up. Especially if you're tight in your mid-back, you'll compensate to make sure you get that full extension by arching your back. I'd rather you not fully extend if that's the case and keep your back nice and straight. 3, 2, 1, drop one weight, same thing with 1, let's go. Remember, there's no break between these 2 exercises. It's like a superset. The only difference is you're using the same exercise but dropping down the weight. 10 seconds. Shoulders burning by now. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to take 30 seconds. Chest press will be next. So chest press, you're on your back. You can go pumps for here. You can also go neutral grip if you prefer. Some people find that the neutral grip's a little bit easier on the shoulders. So it really is your call. And you can go nice and heavy with the chest press if you do have several pairs of dumbbells here. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So breathing out as you press up, breathing on the way down. So just like the last one, we're definitely working the shoulders here, but we're getting a lot more chest engagement. We're about halfway there. Once that buzzer goes off, you're going to drop one dumbbell and do the same thing by grabbing both ends. 3, 2, 1. So drop one weight, elbows in tight. With both chest press variations, you want to make sure your elbows actually touch the ground. Too many people don't go the full range of motion and will stop 75% of the way down, but you want the elbow to actually hit the ground to really emphasize the chest and tricep. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's take 30. 2 more rounds now. So just like the overhead press, the first round, not too bad, then it gets increasingly more difficult. But in general, the chest press is going to be a little bit easier to do than the overhead press. A little bit less lactic acid going to the muscles here, so consider this one not a rest exercise, but a bit of a break compared to some of the harder ones, like the push-ups coming up next will be a bit more challenging here. Okay, let's get ready in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Breathing out as you press up, breathing on the way out. So really showing you the different ways you can train. Everything shouldn't be about intensity. Everything shouldn't be about strength. You can see the contrast between the workouts that we do on Friday, the cardio workout versus these ones. Totally different, but they both have their own benefits. 3, 2, 1. Drop that one weight. So I think too many people just kind of follow the exercise or the workout that feels good. So for some people it's this type of training, for other people it's all about cardio and getting a good sweat. But it's really important that you get both strength and cardio incorporated in your routine, not just one or the other. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's take 30 seconds. We're going to go through one more round here. The good thing with dropping down to that one weight with the chest press is you get a lot more tricep activation. So if you have a really heavy dumbbell at work or at home and you notice that you can't maybe get the triceps engaged as much during a regular chest press, drop one weight, use a really heavy one, keep those elbows tucked, and try from there. You're going to hit the triceps a lot more than a regular chest press variation. Okay, round 3 coming up. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. It's all the way up, all the way down. The breathing is the same, so you're breathing out as you press up, breathing in on the way down. That's another good thing about splitting up the workouts like this, because with all of the push workouts, your breathing is the same. With all of the pull workouts, your breathing is the same. It makes it a little bit less overwhelming and easier to manage your breathing. 3, 2, 1. Drop that one, last one here. All the way down, all the way up. So on the way down, your elbows should be grazing the outside part of your rib cage here. And then tapping the ground, just to make sure that you're getting down low enough. We have 10 seconds to go. We'll take a break. Push-ups coming up next. 3, 2, 1, and break. Let's take 30 seconds. Okay, so no dumbbells needed here. For those of you who are able to do push-ups on your toes, first set will be on your toes, second set on your knees. If not, start with the push-ups on your knees, and then you can do a plank to push-up from your knees for the second exercise. Or you can just do the push-ups for the entire set. Okay, let's get ready. 3, 2, 1. So with the push-ups, make sure your hands are right next to your armpits, making sure that you don't make the mistake of bringing your hands up too close towards your head. So you end up shrugging, you're not really working your core, and you're putting way too much unnecessary strain on your shoulder. Almost there, get ready to drop down. 3, 2, 1. So for those of you who did those on the toes, you're going to drop to your knees. For those of you who are doing them on your knees, you can either continue or you can do plank to push-up. Both of these exercises are going to hit the shoulders, the chest, and the triceps. This is going to be one of the harder groups here, so if you have to take a few breaks, feel free to do so. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's take 30 seconds. We're going to go through 2 more rounds of that. Hopefully you guys did your fair share of push-ups last week, and you're kind of transitioning into this workout here with a little more confidence and a little more strength with the push-ups. Full range of motion with the push-ups, I say this all the time, you should be able to kiss the ground. If your face is way too far away from the floor, modify to make it easier, but make sure you get down low enough. It's really important that you do that. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. One of the questions I get asked all the time with the push-ups is how far your hands should be, where your elbows should be. Generally speaking, if you have a wider stance with your elbows out, you're working more chest. If you have a narrow stance with your hands and elbows in, you're working more triceps. Get ready to drop down. 3, 2, 1. Modify, so whether you're going down to your knees here, or you're doing your plank to push-ups, adjust as needed. Also, generally speaking, the more narrow you're going here with your hands and your elbows, the easier it's going to be on your shoulders. The harder it is to actually do the push-up, but it's easier on your joints. 3, 2, 1, and break. Not to say that it's wrong if you go too wide, not at all, it's totally fine to do it that way, but if you do have bad shoulders, it might help to kind of pull those elbows in, bring your hands in a little bit, just to protect your shoulders. It's going to require a little bit more core engagement and a little bit more activation from the muscle we call serratus anterior here, those rib-like muscles. So it's not easier, but it's a bit easier on your shoulders. Round 3 coming up. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And as you fatigue, you can kind of mess around with the grip. So now my triceps are getting tired, so I'll bring my hands a little bit wider. If your shoulders and chest are really tired right now, bring your hands in, let the triceps take over a little more. Make sure your back's not overarching and dropping the hips. 3, 2, 1, last one here. 25 seconds. All the way down, all the way up. And I realize for some units it's going to be a pretty advanced set or group. So I don't expect you to go unbroken without breaks unless you practice push-ups all the time. 3, 2, 1, and break. So 30 seconds. Next we're going to do the curl to press. So this one actually shouldn't be too hard because of the fact that we have a 2-in-1 type of exercise, which means you get a little bit of break in one muscle group while you're doing the other part. Nice and controlled here, nice and slow. Okay, let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1. So curl to press. You notice I always like to go neutral grip, but you don't have to. You can do a regular curl, palm forward, overhead press. It's whichever you prefer. Just make sure you're not swinging from your arms, swinging from the hips. Everything is nice and controlled here. Once that buzzer goes off, you're going to drop one weight. 3, 2, 1, drop one, grab both ends, curl, press. So the curl takes a little bit of pressure off of the shoulders, just to give them a little bit of a break, which is why most people find this exercise easier than the overhead press. Less time under tension. 3, 2, 1, and break. So take 30 seconds, 2 more sets here. We have skull crushes to finish it off, and then we'll do a very short kind of Tabata finisher to finish the workout for today. So same thing with the curl to press. We'll start in 10 seconds. Okay, let's get ready. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. And one of the cues I like to give is the same thing with the overhead press. Just try to tap your shoulders with the weight every time you come up and every time you come down. Just to make sure your form is on point, keeping those weights close to your body. 3, 2, 1, drop one, same thing, let's go. You'll notice anytime you use one dumbbell that you're actually going to work a lot more of the arms, so whether it's the biceps or the triceps. This one is a little bit more biceps, whereas the chest press is more triceps. But you're still getting the shoulders working either way. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and take a break. So 30 seconds, we're going to go through one more time, and then we have the last exercise, which is the skull crusher, and that's meant to hit the triceps. So remember, if you have lighter dumbbells with skull crushers, use the lighter dumbbells. If you don't have light dumbbells, you might have to just use the one dumbbell for the entire time. So 10 seconds, we'll get started on round 3. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So curl, press. You notice how close the weights stay to my body on the way up and on the way down. And everything is nice and controlled. There's no swinging from the hips or the arms. And after each rep, my arms are fully extended on the way down. 3, 2, 1, drop one weight, last one here. Curl, press, and then down, nice and slow. Take a nice 30-second break after this, and move on to the final drop set exercise. Keep it going. 3, 2, 1, and break. So last one, skull crushers, all in the elbows, trying to get the tricep working. So try to minimize the amount of movement coming from your shoulders here. Just allow the elbow to do what they're supposed to do, which is hinge, and get a good squeeze at the top. All right, 3, 2, 1. So nice light weights if you have them. Flex and extend. One of the best exercises you can do here for your triceps. If you have to drop down to one dumbbell for the whole time, that's okay. Modify the time as needed. You might not be able to go for the entire set, which is fine. You're always going at your own own pace here. 3, 2, 1, drop down. So once you drop down to one weight, obviously you can't bring that dumbbell on the side of your head. So you want to keep going down until the weight is just about to touch your forehead. That's when you start to bring the weight up and squeeze your triceps during that walkout. 3, 2, 1, and break. 30-second break. We go through that 2 more times. So if you've noticed so far, what I really like to do with these push and pull workouts is, and all the workouts really, start with the big compound movements first, the overhead press, the chest press, and then finish with the isolation exercises. So the ones for the biceps and the triceps, because they're smaller muscle groups. Less bang for your buck. Okay, 3, 2, 1, round 2. Let's go. Flex and extend. If you have a bench at home, you can definitely use the bench for this one, which I actually prefer. Or that, if not, it's just as good on the ground. 3, 2, 1, drop 1. Same thing. Flex and extend. We talk about the mind-muscle connection, actively squeezing the muscle that should be working here. So actively squeeze those triceps on the way up when your arms are fully extended, just to help give you that extra mind-muscle connection here. 3, 2, 1, and break 30 seconds. One more round here, then we'll move on to that finisher. And if you want to modify this, you can do some body weight dips, some kickbacks, overhead tricep extension. Doesn't matter what you do, as long as you pick an exercise that really works those triceps. Okay, begin. And 3, 2, 1, round 3. Let's go. So last round here. And then we'll take a bit of a longer break before explaining what we got for the finisher. Seconds. 3, 2, 1, drop one weight. Last set here. 25 more seconds. It's okay if you have a little bit of a natural arch in your back here. Unlike the chest press, it doesn't really matter either way. With the chest press, you definitely want some sort of an arch in your back, just to allow the shoulder blades to move the way they're supposed to. 3, 2, 1, and break. Rest up, guys. So the final part here is going to be a Tabata finisher. Tabata is just timing. 20 on, 10 off, 8 total sets. So we have 4 exercises. We're going to do 2 exercises or 2 sets each before moving on to the next one. First one here, it's called a crab press. So the crab press, when you get into a crab position, which is like this, except you're going to hold one dumbbell and you're going to press up. So you're going to go hip bridge, crab position, and press. So this is a really good overall full body movement. For those of you who can't do this, and I understand it's a pretty advanced movement, you should do a single arm chest press or even go into a hip bridge. So the crab press is going to take a lot of strength from your tricep, shoulders, also your core stability and your hips. So the first set you're going to do on one side, second set you're going to switch sides. Like I said, I know this is an advanced movement, so maybe not for everyone, but give it a shot, see how it goes. If not, you can regress. Second set, same thing other side. The third one, which is the second exercise, you can either use 1 or 2 weights. We're going to do a kneeling press. So kneeling position, overhead press. When you're in that kneeling position, make sure your hips are locked. So you're sitting up nice and tall. You're not bending the hips. You're sitting up nice and tall, and you're squeezing your glutes. You're gonna do that for 2 sets. Then we're gonna do a plank tricep extension. So for a lot of you, this is gonna be a really advanced movement going from your toes, so you can drop down to your knees. Here's what it's gonna look like on your toes. Low plank, high plank. Low plank, high plank. So unlike the plank push-up, I'm not going one at a time. It's the exact same time. So you're actively pushing down with your palms simultaneously. If you can't do that on your toes, much easier from the knees. And this is another great exercise for working the triceps. The last one here, we're gonna do some standing dumbbell punches. So rack position, punch, crossing over. And you're gonna notice as you punch out, it gets harder and harder. So if you have light dumbbells, you might wanna use light dumbbells for that. If you only have light dumbbells, you can speed it up. Otherwise, focus on going nice and slow and controlled. So 20 on, 10 off, 2 sets in a row, 8 total sets, and then we're done for today. So we'll start with that crab press in a few seconds. All right, so curious, for those who give this one a shot, let me know how you were able to do with the crab press. Like I said, I don't expect everyone to do it, but at least try it out. It's a good test for your overall full body strength and stability. Okay, we begin in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So shorter time here, 20 on, 10 off. Keep that elbow locked on the ground. The hand that's planted, you want that elbow locked on the ground. No bend, no movement coming from the rest of your body here. Keep those hips up. 3, 2, 1. Switching sides. So 10-second break. Same thing other side. 3, 2, 1. And what you'll notice with this exercise, it's not the weight that's pressing up that's the hardest arm. It's the arm that's actually on the ground. Keep those shoulders down and back. You don't want to strain your neck here by shrugging up, which is a pretty common compensation. So try not to compensate here. 3, 2, 1. Next, when you do that kneeling press, make sure your hips are locked and you're squeezing your glutes here. You can use 2 weights or 1 to make it easier. Ready? Let's go. So just a regular overhead press here, except you're on your knees. Remember to tap your shoulders with the dumbbells on the way down, just so you know you get that full range of motion. Breathing out as you press up, breathing out on the way down. 3, 2, 1. Take 10 seconds, we're gonna do the same thing, one more time. 8 total sets here and then we're all done. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So you can press up fast, that's okay, but you wanna really control it on the way down. So you're not allowing to just kind of fall right down without control. 3, 2, 1. Halfway, guys. 4 down, 4 to go. Plank extensions next. Try for your toes. If you can't do it, drop down to your knees. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So plank, and then at the same time, push down on both your heels, or both your palms, sorry, and drive up, fully extending, squeezing your triceps on the way. If you can't do that on your toes, just drop down to your knees. 3, 2, 1. So same thing one more time. And then we'll move on to the last exercise, which will be some dumbbell punches. Okay, ready? Let's go. By now you know I'm a big fan of body weight movement. If you can master your own body weight, it's much easier to progress and start lifting some heavy weights, start trying some crazy new exercises. But if you're struggling with body weight, you should keep practicing your body weight. 3, 2, 1. Last one here. Standing dumbbell punches. Nice and slow if you're going heavy, or even moderate. 3, 2, 1. Rack position. Press back. If you want, you can rotate as you punch. It makes it a little bit easier. Otherwise, the standing position here becomes more anti-rotation, which means you get an added element of working your core as well. 3, 2, 1. Last set, guys. One more set, then we're all done for today. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, last one. So punch, control. And when you punch, you're crossing over just a little bit. You're not punching directly in front of you. You're trying to aim for your opposite shoulder. 10 seconds. This one's gonna burn out those shoulders to finish it off. 3, 2, 1, and we are done. That's it for today, guys. Let me know if you did the workout. Let me know how it went. I'll see you tomorrow for pull day.